Hey Omnibus collectors, this is Riley. I'm making this video because I was told that YouTube comic channels, one of our first videos are supposed to be a collection video, so I'm supposed to show off my collection, and so I'm going to show off my Omnibus collection and all my other comics and stuff. First off, I want to say that my collection used to look a lot better because I had actual shelves to put it on, but I moved after getting married to my amazing wife, who's actually holding the camera for me right now. And we moved into a smaller apartment, and I don't have a lot of shelves. I haven't bought a lot of shelves yet, so I just have a couple of small ones, and then everything else is in the closet. So here's the cool part of my collection, my actual Omnibus stuff. This first shelf, I have all my my DC Omnibuy Deluxe Edition hardcovers and a lot of regular-sized hardcovers. I've got Hawkman Omnibus, Teen Titans Omnibus. I don't think either of those are hard to find. These JLA by Grant Morrison, the 4-volume set, at least one of them, I think volume 2, when I was trying to get it, was really difficult to find and out of print. I don't know how it is now. Solo Deluxe Edition. I have this Batwoman Elegy. This one, last I knew, was really difficult to find. This is the Batman Noir Eduardo Risso Deluxe Edition. It has the basically everything that Brian Azzarello wrote for Batman, but it's all in black and white. It's a really nice looking collection. And then here I have the entire Grant Morrison Batman run, starting from the Black Glove Deluxe Edition, and then there's deluxe editions of every book, and then it goes out to Batman Incorporated Volume 2, which is where it relaunched during the New 52, which I've heard is going to get a deluxe edition in the future, but as of now it's just these two normal hardcovers. And then I've got hardcovers of Scott Snyder's Batman stuff. I believe this Black Mirror is difficult to find. All-Star Batman and Robin, that's a guilty pleasure of mine. Batman Earth 1, Joker, Batman Man Who Laughs. And then I've got the here, and then on the second shelf, the first 3 of the 6 series Starman Omnibus. The third one is actually really hard to find. Had to order that one. It was, I think, $90 instead of the $50 cover price. I haven't read these yet, but as soon as I do, I'm going to start working on getting the other 3 out of the 6. I've got volumes 1 through 3 of Brian Azzarello's Wonder Woman series. I really love the series, so I'm getting both the singles and the hardcovers. Final Crisis, Watchmen hardcover edition. Then I've got, this is the beginning of my non-DC universe and my Vertigo Omnibus and Deluxe editions, starting with the Planetary Omnibus, which I mentioned in my earlier video. Then I've got the Animal Man by Grant Morrison Omnibus. This is one of my favorite comics, if not my most favorite comic of all time. Here's the DMZ Deluxe Edition I mentioned earlier in my past video. Got the Flex Mentallo by Grant Morrison. That book was very... I was looking forward to this one coming out a lot because it was really difficult to find. It had never been reprinted. There was only single issues. It's a really cool, really trippy book. House of Secrets, Steven Seagal and Teddy Christensen. I kind of went out on a limb and bought this one. I didn't know anything about the book, but after buying it, I really loved it. The artwork's great. The Invisibles, Grant Morrison. I'm a huge Morrison fan, so every deluxe edition, every omnibus that comes out with his name on it, I'm going to have it. So the Invisibles is a really nice, I think it's the thickest omnibus that I own. And I've got Joe the Barbarian, another Morrison. A couple of the most beautiful omnibuy that I own are the Neil Gaiman Sandman series, volumes 1 and 2. They just look amazing on a shelf. And then I've got the Sandman Endless Nights paperback to cap it off. Then I've got some regular-sized hardcovers. The American Vampire series, I have all the 5 volumes so far. It's a really great series. I also have the single issues for that one. Swamp Thing by Alan Moore, volumes 1 through 6. Amazing series. I'm hoping that one gets an omnibus in the near future. And then I've got some Dark Horse stuff. I've got the 4 library editions of Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 8. Great Joss Whedon writing with his pals. Drew Goddard and stuff. Brian K. Vaughan writes a little bit. I've got the first Fear Agent by Rick Remender, library edition. Still waiting on the second one to hit shelves. And then I've got the library editions of Hellboy 1 through 6. Amazing books. They're incredibly beautiful. And they look nice on a shelf too. And then I've got here is Lost Girls, a little book by Alan Moore. My second shelf is all my Marvel Omnibus stuff. I've got more of those. Marvel makes more Omnibuy, and they're better quality in my opinion. And I got my Brubaker Captain America. I've been hearing these are difficult to find now, especially the first two. Hopefully they're going to put out a fourth and fifth volume to wrap up that run. The two Fantastic Fours by John Byrne, classic stuff. I haven't read the second one. That's where She-Hulk joins the team. First, Hickman Fantastic Four. The second one should be out sometime this year. Ghost Rider by Jason Aaron. Iron Man by David Michelini, Bob Layton, John Romita Jr., Volume 1. A second one should be out in the future. They did 2 runs where each was about 25 to 30 issues. Invincible Iron Man by Kurt Busiek and Sean Chen. With the Marvel Zombies Omnibus, which is every Marvel Zombies, even though really only the first 3 or 4 are worth reading, but it's a nice collection for the whole thing. The Man-Thing Omnibus has pretty much every Man-Thing comic published in one volume. New Avengers Volume 1. There's another one where the second volume really just needs to come out. I'm pretty sure it's going to come out around the summer when Avengers 2 hits theaters, because this one came out around the time Avengers 1 came out, so I'm looking forward to that. Second shelf, I've got Secret Warriors Omnibus, another Hickman book. The Amazing Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane and David Michelini. Todd McFarlane's one of my favorite Spider-Man artists, so when that hit shelves, I knew I had to grab it. Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. Still waiting on the second one. I had one of my followers ask me about that second one, and I'm guessing it should be out this year, because the first one came out in time for the first Amazing Spider-Man, so the second one should be out around the second Amazing Spider-Man movie, but there's no solicitation yet. I'm still, I'm hoping that it's going to come out soon. Mighty Thor by Walter Simonson, incredible run, classic stuff. And then more recent Thor, J. Michael Straczynski, another amazing run. A lot thinner than the other one, though. Jason Aaron's Wolverine Volume 1. Still need a Volume 2 to come out from Marvel. They're putting out Wolverine and the X-Men Omnibus, so there's kind of a gap between his Wolverine stuff that they really need to put all into a Volume 2, but, where is it, Marvel? Got Uncanny X-Men by Claremont Volume 1. It's like the first 30 issues of his run on the Uncanny X-Men. Volume 2 is due out, I believe, next month. I've got X-Men by Claremont and Lee Volume 1, which is the first of 2 Omnibuy that collect the end of his run with the X-Men before he passed it on to like Scott Lobdell and those people. X-Men Age of Apocalypse Omnibus collects the entire, I think it was 4-month-long event that ran, that retitled every X-Men book into various other titles. It's a nice collection. The New X-Men by Grant Morrison, fantastic run, one of my favorite X-Men runs, the whole thing in one volume. Ecstatics by Milligan and Peter Milligan and Mike Allred, great alternative type of X-Men book. It's got that, pop kind of feel that Allred brings to all his stuff, and it fits on the outskirts of the Marvel Universe, so you can read it even if you're not a X-Men fan. And then my next shelf, I've got one last omnibus, the Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon and John Cassaday. Fantastic run, another amazing X-Men comic. And then I have a bunch of the just oversized hardcovers. Like move my Ava Unit 1. There's Daredevil by Mark Waid, the current series. This week, the second volume of these oversized is hitting shelves. It's a great volume. I'm going to pick up that second one whenever I can, and the third one will come out in a few months, collecting the rest of this first series of his on Daredevil. Then Daredevil End of Days, which is kind of a return to form to Daredevil of Brian Bendis coming back after his legendary run with all the artists that he worked with and doing another 8-issue story. It's a really interesting look at the future of Daredevil. It's kind of like those Marvel The End that were coming out several years back. Dark Avengers by Brian Bendis. It's the whole series right there. That was a run that I was a pretty good fan of. And I got the first volume of Hawkeye, oversized. It's a fantastic series by Matt Fraction. Really recommend looking at that one, and it looks amazing, the oversized. Then I got a guilty pleasure of mine is the Jeph Loeb Hulk run. I got all 3 volumes here, really just because I love the Red Hulk. The run itself is okay, not great. And then I have the 2 oversized hardcovers of Fall of Hulks and World War Hulks, which were part of Greg Pak's run. I really wish they did the rest of Pak's run in oversized, but that's okay. I got 2 oversized hardcovers for Jason Aaron's run on the Hulk. I had a lot of fun with that run. Inhumans by Paul Jenkins, classic story, amazing book. I have the first Invincible Iron Man by Fraction. They only put 2 out. There should be 2 more. Total of 4 books to collect his whole 60-ish issue run, but they only did 2. I don't know what the deal with that is. Punisher Max, I have the first of the oversized hardcovers. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to work on that later. I think volume 4 is extremely hard to find, so hopefully I can find one in a store that's regular, $30 instead of, or $25 instead of a $200 upprice charge. I've got, and then the 12, that's a J. Michael Straczynski book from Marvel. Old Man Logan, great Mark Millar Wolverine book. And then the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books are a bunch of the oversized X-Men hardcovers, which some of these are pretty hard to find. Some of them are easy to come across. Collecting the entirety of Chris Claremont and beyond in the X-Men. Marvel's been trying to do that. I mentioned that earlier, and I talked about the Phalanx Covenant earlier that I just got. X-Men Supernovas, that's the beginning of Mike Carey's X-Men that turned into X-Men Legacy. And I've got X-Force Volumes 1 and 2, the Craig Kyle and Chris Yost run. That was a lot of fun. It went into Necrosha, and then it went over into the Second Coming is where it ended. I've got, and then the X-Men Utopia crossover, Nation X, X-Men Age of X crossover, the X-Men Schism event. I have this Avengers Endless Wartime by Warren Ellis. And then the rest of this bottom shelf is a bunch of regular-sized hardcovers from Marvel. I got some Marvel selects, or not select, premiere hardcovers with the classic storylines. I've got the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, Ultimate Comics Ultimates, Captain America, Punisher Max by Jason Aaron, fantastic book. It's getting an omnibus later. Kick-ass. And then I got a couple other things to round out this shelf. Bone by Jeff Smith, SX County by Jeff Lemire, and Underwater Welder by Jeff Lemire. My Image books and my Dark Horse books. I've a few oversized hardcovers, Butcher Baker, Chew, there's Beasts of Burden from Dark Horse, really fun book. Peter Panzerfaust, King City, some Paul Pope work, and the rest are paperbacks. I got the Invincible Compendiums, Manhattan Projects. I've got the Spawn Compendium here. They really need to put out a second one of that one. Walking Dead Compendiums. I go into my Dark Horse. I've got the 4 volumes of BPRD in hardcover. I'm waiting on more of that one. This is the whole Plague of Frogs. They're going to do the Hell on Earth later. I got Mind Management. I also have the singles for that one. Martha Washington, Umbrella Academy, the whole Sin City. They're doing a big omnibus of that I'm hoping to pick up later. Comes out in July. Amory Wars, more Paul Pope right here, Black Hole, and some Craig Thompson stuff. Up on the top up here is all my my manga and stuff. And then on the bottom right here, I've got all my paperbacks, Marvel, DC, Vertigo, and a few indie books as well. And so I'm going to get some shelves later to put all that stuff up. And then I got these filing cabinets that are full of all my singles. So that's my collection. I hope you enjoy it. I'll talk about some of these books again later. Thanks for watching.